Koida. Welcome to INCRadio. 6 sa 7 kontinente, mahigit sa 100 bansa at teritoryo, iba't ibang kultura at lengguwahe, nagkakaisa at nananatiling solido. Ito ang INC Radio.
Palaging konektado sa lahat ng mga tao. This is INCRadio. Anywhere in the world, oh, we are always together, connected to everyone. Life will be better.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You are listening and watching to INC Radio. Good evening here in the Philippines and good morning in Washington, D.C. Yes, Brother Ivan, good morning to you.
Good morning po. Everything is doing great. How are you po?
We are doing great as well and looking forward to watching and listening to your broadcast this morning. We'll be turning over po to INC Radio, Washington, D.C.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to INC Radio, Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio here in the nation's capital. I'm so excited for today's episode. Today is March 30th, almost the end of the month. It's 9 a.m. here Eastern Time, and I believe it's 9 p.m. there in DC, in the Philippines. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Brother Ivan, one of your hosts today, and with me are two beloved guests. The first one is Sister Gian. Sister Gian, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Sister Gian, Brother Ivan's wife, and I am a roadway engineer.
Yes. It has been a development. She was my romantic. She was my girlfriend back then. We got married last year, and now look at how our studio has evolved, right? And then with me is Brother Bruce as well. Brother Bruce, how are you?
Hello po, good morning po, and good evening to those in the Philippines. Congratulations on the wedding, brother and sister.
Thank you, Brother Bruce.
Thank you, Brother Bruce. Brother Bruce, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Brother Bruce Balmeo. I'm from the local congregation of Bowie in the district of Washington, D.C., and I am working currently at a business consulting firm.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we've got engineering here today. We got strategy or business consulting here today. And today we're going to be talking about, career crossroads, navigating change with confidence. So what does that mean? So we invited Brother Bruce actually here today because he switched career path from where he thought he was going to be in school. And then Sister Gian, we invited her today because she switched career path in actual, working at an actual job. And so maybe there's someone out there who's listening today who's facing the exact same thing. So we can hear, right, what they've went through and all the things that they've thought about and where they are today after they've made their decisions. Okay, so I got a first question here, just to keep the ball rolling, to break the ice a little. Right, what are some circumstances that push us for change? Maybe in studying, maybe in your professional career, but like what is that factor that really makes that change? Let's go with Sister Gian.
Okay, well, yeah, at first I actually did civil engineering. I was doing an intern there and
Mhm.
structural engineering too. I think it's just not my passion. When they're saying like structural engineering is the brain, right? So I was like, oh, I want to be a structural engineer to calculate the foundation of the
Yeah.
buildings and everything. But when I was actually doing it, I didn't quite like it. So maybe some people like to do a lot of calculations all day, every day. But for me, it's not really my thing. And so I tried different thing.
Uh-huh.
Construction as well in engineering. So I
Mhm.
did it for about a year.
Mhm.
But then I think most of the people, maybe it's different from other companies or
Yeah.
other experiences. But for me, most of my projects there, a lot of people have a type A personality,
Yeah.
or they're more an aggressive side because we're talking about the money here for construction, a
Yeah.
lot of money. So
Okay.
there's a lot of stress. But so I think for me, with my soft personality,
Yeah.
I couldn't
So
navigate that with the
it
long hours.
was it was like a mismatch of, I guess,
Yeah.
passion number one, and then a mismatch of maybe environment.
And
How
also
about,
time thought.
and also time? How about you, brother Braun? Braun. Why am I reading that, brother Bruce? Brother Bruce, right? So like on a higher level, like what are some circumstances that push you to change your professional career, your studying career?
I feel like for me, it's a lot of self-reflecting. You
Mm-hmm.
really need to find out what you're happy with. And I remember when I was switching my major, so I started as a microbiome major, and then I switched to neuroscience, and then all of this is pre-med, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow
Yeah.
I just didn't want to settle for less. I wanted somewhere that I could feel really at home at. And
Yeah.
there's always been like this scratch in the back of my head, like I wanted to do business. But
Uh-huh.
all of my internships were in medicine. All at the time, 3 out of the 4 years of my college experience has been in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely one of those things that you have to navigate it by being honest with yourself. You
Yeah.
have to be like, okay, my decisions at the end of the day is what I'm gonna have to live with. So it doesn't matter what society feels, what your close friends, whoever it is, what their expectations are of you. I feel like you need to be very transparent with what you want. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I ended up in business because
Mm-hmm.
I finally entertained that scratch in the back of my mind. And I'm glad that I did.
Okay.
So nice
Yeah,
to
that's
hear.
very interesting. We'll dig into the details because I know for both of you, it wasn't as easy as it seemed, right? Like you were from medical, a medical major over to business, and then Sister Gia, and she's although she is like in engineering, she was switching around in different engineering fields, and I know it's almost like business when you're switching around industries in business. It's completely different experience, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at our station promos. When we return, we'll continue to discuss about change, especially in your studies or your career. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
Truly, God's blessings are abundant and generous. Join us as we witness one after another inauguration of group worship services in local congregations in various places here in New Zealand. Only here in INCRadio New Zealand Satellite Studio this Sunday, 31st of March 2024, 7 o'clock p.m. New Zealand Daylight Time, 2 o'clock p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Aroha Nui! See you then! Are you ready for more of Hong Kong Brethren's talents? Tune in to INC Radio Hong Kong Satellite Studio this Sunday, March 31, as we showcase the artwork of our talented young brethren from the Children's Worship Service. Join us from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Philippine Standard Time.
only at your Sunday lunch date.
You are listening to Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody who's been tuning in today to our INC Radio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio program. And let's continue with our discussion today. So we're here again. Just a reminder, everyone, we're here with Brother Bruce, who's changed his career path based on what he was studying, and then Sister Jian, who's changed her career path while she is working. So we're here to learn a little bit about them, about their career path today. Okay, so let's interview them a little bit here. Let's dig into the details. Sister Jian, so we know that you changed here from construction, right? Construction engineering over to, structural to construction, and then construction and to transportation. So you went to three different types of engineering. How did you navigate that change, or what did you do as you were going from one to the other? And then, what were you thinking to yourself? And, what did you have to change anything in your lifestyle or anything like that? Tell us your story.
Mhm. So when I was doing a structural, I was actually doing civil too for 3 years while I was studying. I was interning there, but then I was like, oh, I've been stuck in this career, and it's not really something that I've been really wanting to do during my studies. So I was like, oh, maybe I should try a different internship, the structural, where everyone's like thinking about it's the coolest part or like discipline of the civil engineering. So I tried that too. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it's not something I want to do the whole day calculating everything. So I tried to apply to transportation and construction, which I think while studying, those are the main two ones that I've been really wanting to do. Transportation specifically, and construction is one thing that my professor recommended, so that we can understand the foundation of what we are of when we're building or designing stuff. So when I was doing so I got accepted at first go with the construction engineering. It was actually cool. I actually enjoy it too, but it's a long hours. There were times that we're working 60, 70 hours every week, especially during the time that it's like the end of the project already. And it's just because we're in a rush already. We're trying to meet the deadlines as well. For me, that's not a good work-life balance, especially when you have a husband who's waiting for you, and when you have a family who's waiting for you, and especially for us too, who are doing a lot of duties also in our church. So that's another thing, and the environment as well. So it sounds rough at first. I was like, oh, I'm gonna change another career, and I didn't want that because I'm gonna start from the very beginning. But I think it's one of the best thing that I did when I prayed for it to.
Let's expand on that a little bit. I want to ask you, because I think a lot of people are worried. What is it like when you were thinking about starting from scratch, starting all over again? You've already been in structural, and then you were in construction for a year, and it's just like, what was going through your mind? And do you think it was a good decision to start from scratch again?
At first, no. I think I was like, oh, I'm going to start from scratch again. I was so behind. I felt like I was so behind. Not only on my batchmates in civil engineering here, but even more when I was in the Philippines, because everyone already has been in their career for 5 years because they already graduated. And for me, transitioning here to the US too. So that pulled me back already. And then all my classmates to here, they're already like on their second year or something like that. So I didn't like that. I was like, so I think it's the comparison, self insecurity. So I didn't want to go through that. But you know what? I took the leap. What do you call that?
A leap of faith.
A leap of faith. Prayed for it, and I had the like for now I'm in the best position when I have a
Uh-huh.
really great coworkers,
Great. Yeah.
more peaceful
Mhm.
environment,
Mhm.
something that I enjoy too,
Yeah.
when working. So I know it's early. They might say that it's just early because I'm
Right.
young, but
Right.
even though I think you're in 40s and you want to
Yeah.
switch from being a doctor to chef, go ahead.
Go
Maybe
ahead.
maybe someday that's one thing I want to do too. But for me,
Uh-huh.
for now, I think it's also the financial security part.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still in the engineering. But someday you'll never know. I
So
might be a chef.
she wants to be a chef, everyone. Okay, all right. So, right, so to summarize everything Sister Gia had said, right? It's like well, it's never too late to do it if you want to switch so that you can be a little bit more happier, something that you enjoy. Go ahead. You have your entire life waiting for you. So if you're gonna do something your entire life, might as well make yourself a little happier with what you're doing. Okay, let's switch over to Brother Bruce. Brother Bruce, so can you tell us a little bit more about the timeline, I guess, of you being in school and then now you're out here working in business? Just a little bit more detail of your experience.
Thank you, brother and sister. That was very inspiring. I like hearing stories like yours. It really reaffirms that you can't settle for less. And I think that that is another lesson that I learned in my life because when I was in college, I, like what I was saying earlier, just medicine from microbiome, neuroscience, and then finally my senior year, my very last year at college, that's when I really started being honest with myself. I did some reflection and I said to myself, 20, 30 years from now, is this choice staying in medicine, is this going to leave me with regrets or is this something that I'm going to be happy with? I'm going to find fulfillment in because I did enjoy medicine. It was just that I couldn't get rid of the thought of going to business and pursuing it. And
Yeah.
in that senior year, I said, let me try at least. Because for me, how after my reflection, I said, you can't just entertain the ideas that okay, I've done medicine all this time. It would be easier for me to do med school and then follow this path. I
Yeah.
think it's one of those moments where you have to challenge what's possible. Because
Mhm.
during my senior year, when I really started entertaining the idea of going into business, it was definitely it tested my faith
Mhm.
because I was applying to all of these jobs, and I remember I was tracking. I had an Excel sheet. I applied to like 70 plus jobs, and
Yeah.
at the
It's a
same
lot.
time, I was considering the path of pre med. So I was thinking, okay, if business isn't for me, then what am I taking the MCAT? When am I going to start studying for it? You need to get into med school. What I wanted to was least amount of time possible, go straight to
Yeah.
med school so that I can finish faster.
Yeah.
But then I remember all of these jobs that I was applying to, consulting firms, different accounting firms, different business roles. Everybody there, their majors were accounting. They would double major in finance and business administration. And I
Mhm.
remember during my interview for my current role now, we were in this lobby and it
Mhm.
was so tense. And people were trying to break the ice, trying to talk to each other. So we would make small talk, like, "Oh, hey, what's your major? What are some of your internships?" And I would listen to them. Listen, I was like, "Oh, wow, that's really nice." And then it would be my turn to share, and I'll be like, "Oh, my internships are at hospitals. My internships are in medicine." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then they asked me, "Oh, what's your major?" Oh, I said, "Oh, I'm pre med." So they couldn't say, "What are you doing here?" But you could definitely see the shock in their face.
Mhm,
So it was really a test of faith because I was the only one there doing medicine.
mhm,
All of these people, all their 4 years were in business. They had
Mhm.
internships in big four, top four consulting
mhm,
firms,
Yeah.
the big four accounting firms. And
Mhm.
in my head, I'm like, what am I doing here? But at the
Yeah.
same time, I had to remind myself that our God is almighty. There's
Yeah.
nothing impossible with him. And I remember I was on my knees day and night just praying and I
Mhm.
asked God for guidance. And I said, whatever happens, it is my faith that it is your will, and therefore it's not a mistake. It will be for my better. And that gave me a lot of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
from that, fast forward to now, it's a big breath of relief.
Yeah.
And sometimes now, uh, for one of the last things I'm gonna say, I remember that during my chemistry finals, I was really having a crisis. I remember it was like 7 p.m. I was leaving one of my classes after taking the chemistry final, and I looked up at the sky. I looked up at the stars, and I said to myself, "Am I happy?" And then I remembered right then and there before I went home, I was just staring up at the sky, and I said to God, "God, I pray that one day I'm gonna look up at these very same stars, this very same sky, and I'm gonna be happy with where I'm at. So help
Mm-hmm.
me." And
Yeah.
then whenever I would look up at the sky, it's a reminder that I'm living in my past prayers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my advice to everybody. You really just need to reflect on all the blessings that God has given. You
Yeah.
can't just take all the good. You have to also understand that if there are bad things that come into your life, it's God preparing you for something greater.
Yeah, bro, that's very well said, and that's a very inspiring
That's very
story
inspiring.
to everybody who has been watching today. Well, brother Bruce, are you happy where you where you are? Right.
I'm happy, brother. Thank you.
Okay, good, good. Right. So now in your business consulting, switching over from pre-med, from medical. So that's a huge jump, especially to, just like I know all of those reactions probably in that room was like, oh, wow, you're completely switched over. And, because of God, everything, could just really happens for a reason. Right. And it's sometimes it just works out that way. And you never know, maybe you'll end up doing like consulting for medical firms or something eventually. Because I think you're doing government now, right, bro?
Yes, brother.
Okay, yeah. So you never know. Like maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, you'll switch over to like medical consulting instead, and then all of these things will come back to you, right? And then we got a question here. Let me switch on over back to Sister Gian. Sister Gian, right? Now that you're here in transportation engineering, what are your plans for the future? Are you planning to continue to change? Is there somewhere you want to stay? And is there anything else that you're considering for your future?
Yes, so I think excuse me. So I think it also gonna be depends on where I am in life.
Mhm.
So probably when we have kids in the future, so
Mm.
that might change my plan too. But as of right now, I think I'm very happy where I'm at. I'm just trying to learn as much as I could on the
Mhm.
job that I'm at, and maybe someday soon, I can also help on with the church and some of our projects,
Yeah.
and like even just a parking lot. Yeah.
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
can probably help on that and probably have my own mini consulting firm so that I can work remotely and spend more time with my family po.
Mhm.
And I just also want to share that sometimes like relating to my career right now, so don't be scared to change your path or to go somewhere you want to go or something you want to try po, okay?
Mhm.
Because remember, like for example, we're going somewhere in a specific destination. Maybe those some careers that you went into in the first ones are just your like gas stations or a site for you to see, but
Mhm.
if you didn't take those career that you take in the first place,
Yeah.
you won't be able to go to your final destinations. So sometimes those careers that you had before or the studies that you had before help you to grow on your future one, or help you to find people, a
Right.
friends of yours too, something like that. So,
Mhm.
don't be afraid, even though you're in your 40s. As I
Mhm.
said, I might be a chef or own my own restaurant in the future.
Yeah.
So, but always,
Okay.
always give everything to God. So.
Okay. Good. Good. Okay. How about you, brother Bruce? Brother Bruce, what do you plan for your future? Is this something that you really love to do, or are there other fields that you're looking into as well?
Thank you, brother. I feel that this is something that I'm really passionate about,
Mhm.
and it's one of those things where I couldn't have even planned it any better way.
Mhm.
I feel that I'm gonna stay here for a long time,
Mhm.
but hopefully, I haven't completely abandoned medicine.
Mhm.
Sometimes I would listen to podcasts or watch some videos on it. I still find it interesting, and maybe someday down the line, I'm gonna reconnect with it and make it a part of my life again.
Okay. Well, since we have a time to spare here, just maybe 1 minute. Sister Gian, are you, do you feel that you're in a good position, or where you are and you made the right change?
Ah, yes, but I think for me, it's also depends on what you like and what some other people like it. They do that for financial stability and stuff like that. But I think for me, as long as I have a good environment, when 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 I get like when my coworkers, all of us respect each other,
Yeah.
and I can perform my duties as long as there's no hindrances on that, then I'm very happy about it.
Okay, well, sorry we're running out of time here, but I know Brother Bruce, he's happy where he's at. He was looking at the stars earlier. Don't look at the sun though, everyone. But look at the stars. I'm just kidding. That was very inspiring, Sister Gia and Brother Bruce. Very, very inspiring. Just any special greetings for us today, Sister Gia?
Yes, but so I have a lot of siblings. So I'm just gonna mention where they are. So I want to say hi to all my siblings and their family in Winnipeg, Sacramento, California. My sister in Oregon too, and to our family, the Tobias family po who are in Oregon, and Mama, Papa, Fei Fei, and then Tofi too, who is in the Philippines, and then my Mama and Tata and Nanay po who are in the Philippines. Just want to say hi and always know po that you are in our prayers and we love you so much po. And my brother who is in the ministry too. Hi, Kuya.
How about you, Brother Bruce? Any special greetings for us?
I want to greet my parents, tatay, nanay. I love you. And I wanted to also say a special greeting to my family, all of the Balmeos out there in the world.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, Brother Bruce, Sister Gian, for joining us today. Just quickly reading here from some of our YouTube live chat comments. As Lay Watley says, 13 years in provincial government and then joined the healthcare when I moved there and just fell in love with it with the same work ethics, dedication, and passion. So that one's from government to healthcare. Bro, that's literally like almost backwards of Brother Bruce. It's healthcare to like government consulting. And then Brother Marvin says, everyone has their own career journey and we shouldn't compare ourselves with others. That is so true. Sister Gian has said too.
Thank you, Brother
Sister
Marvin.
Nidel says, something I've learned from career/major change that it's okay to be behind, quote unquote, or not in the same pace as someone else. As long as you start where you're confident, you'll be on the right track. And then she says that this is so true, Brother Bruce. God will take care of everything. You never need to worry when you pray to God for your future. And then one last one. I think career change is necessary if you don't feel fulfilled in your work and or your compensation doesn't meet your daily needs in the near, future needs. That one was from Sister Alexis. Well, thank you everybody for listening to us today. Let's check out our recent district activities.
The Katiwa Brethren in the District of Washington, D.C. gathered together to learn and listen to trending topics today revolving around social conformity. The brothers and sisters shared their experiences and how they dealt with it as Christian members. The young members in the Church of Christ were reminded that even though we may face these temptations, the words of God continues to guide us to do what is right no matter what.
All right, so let's check out, seeing here what our what we've had in Washington D.C. Let's check out what's happening here on INCRadio, Washington D.C. next week. Let's take a look.
With spring on the horizon, how are you doing with the New Year's resolutions you made? Spring can bring fresh beginnings to start again. Join us on INCRadio WBZ Satellite Studio on April 6, 2024 at 9 a.m. as we tackle one day or day one, because it's never too late to start today.
All right, for their unstoppable support, we'd like to thank our INCRadio Washington, D.C. family for supporting our broadcast, especially to our district minister, Brother Sidney Santos, our station manager, Brother Arnel Solana, our subsea president, Brother Angelo Manalo, and of course, A very special greeting to our Executive Minister of INC or the Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you for tuning in to INC Radio, Satellite DC, Washington DC Satellite Studio. Say it supple, everybody. Have a good morning. Bye, everyone. Bye. From the two beers.
Bye, Bercy.
Simulan natin ang buwan ng Abril sa isang makabuluhang talakayan. Kaya naman samahan kami sa pagmimisyon on-air and online ngayong April 1, Lunes alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. Kasama ang 8 distrito eklesyastiko ng Iglesia ni Cristo sa Metro Manila. Abangan sa special edition ng INC Radio Metro Manila Satellite Studio.
To subscribe to the official INC Radio YouTube channel, go to your browser and type youtube.com. Search for INC Radio at the search bar and make sure to click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell button to be updated with the different news and updates around the world.